Bienvenidos a Según su macabro podcast. Yo soy Dee.
Yo soy Ali.
Y hoy Ali les contará de un caso que sucedió en Sacramento, California.
The irresponsibility of a gun owner took another child's life. According to a study in the Injury Epidemiology journal, in 92% of fatal shootings, the guns were loaded and unlocked. And from 2009 to 2018, there were a total of 279 cases of children under the age of 15 who accidentally died from a firearm. This is not okay. Please be mindful and responsible if you are carrying a firearm. This is a tragic case of Keith KJ Frierson. Advertencia: la información de este caso puede ser desencadenante para algunos. Tenga en cuenta que algunos de estos casos pueden involucrar menores de edad, abuso, violación o violencia. Escuchen con precaución.
Warning: the information on this case can be triggering to some. Please be advised that some of these cases may involve children, abuse, rape, and violence. Listen with caution.
Not even 15 minutes later, my baby was gone. All because he was enjoying a race with some other kids he considered his friends.
We're gonna miss him. We're gonna miss him a lot. Should have never happened, man.
This murder just happened about 2 weeks ago. And I wanted to make sure we spoke about it because it highlights the urgency of gun control, irresponsible gun owners, and how someone's life can change in the blink of an eye. Watching the interviews of this grieving mother and hearing her voice was tough. But people need to understand the responsibility of owning a gun and a child having access to it. Keith Frierson, más bien conocido por el apodo KJ, tenía 10 años cuando le arrebataron su corta vida, el día 30 de diciembre del año 2023. KJ apenas había cumplido 10 años en septiembre y sus familiares lo describieron como un niño muy cariñoso, generoso, inteligente y que le gustaba ayudar a las personas. His mom, Brittany Frierson, said that her son would love helping carry the groceries of the older adults in the neighborhood. He was always open to helping people. Brittany stated that people that would interact with KJ will later tell her, "You raised that boy good. He's such a good kid." KJ, when you look at the pictures, he had such a beautiful smile. He was filled with life. He seemed like such a sweet kid. KJ llevaba tiempo pidiéndole a su mamá una bicicleta. Y eso fue lo que le regalaron para la Navidad. Ellos llegan a casa el día 30 de diciembre de hacer sus compras. Y al terminar de guardar la comida, KJ le pide a su mamá permiso para salir en su bicicleta. He just, they lived in una vecindad con muchos otros niños. They all played outside in the parking lot. So he just wanted to go out and ride his bike.
Yeah.
Brittany le dio permiso sin saber lo que pasaría en 15 minutos. 15 minutos después de que KJ estuviera afuera, Brittany escucha fuertes golpes en su puerta. Escucha a sus vecinos gritar que algo le había sucedido a KJ. Ella I can't imagine what she felt in that second, knowing that something happened to her son. She runs to the parking lot y mira a su hijo en el piso, lleno de sangre. Brittany dice que al verlo, ella se dio cuenta que su hijo no tenía chance de sobrevivir.
Oh, no.
Los paramédicos y los doctores trataron de hacer todo lo posible para salvarle la vida a KJ, pero él murió en el hospital. KJ fue asesinado con una bala de una pistola que se le dio en el cuello. Cuando se dieron cuenta de quién había sido, no lo podían creer. Un niño de 10 años que KJ consideraba su amigo fue el que le disparó.
Oh, wow.
Another 10-year-old. El nombre del niño no se ha hecho público, ya que es menor de edad. Pero Brittany, la mamá de KJ, dijo que KJ y este niño eran amigos, ya que este niño frecuentaba mucho a KJ y salían a jugar juntos. So, there are two sides into what happened. Brittany stated that other witnesses who were present when this happened informed her that KJ and this child were racing with their bikes.
Okay.
The child lost this race.
Yeah.
So this child got upset. He stormed off and went to his home.
Yeah.
He then comes back with a gun, shoots KJ, and walks away.
Oh, wow.
That's what some other witnesses told Brittany, other kids that were around. But according to the authorities, based on interviews that they did and information they gathered, this is what they said. So they said that this child's father, whose name is Keith Davis, asks his child, the 10-year-old, to go get his cigarettes that he left in the car.
Okay.
The car was parked outside. I don't know if it was on the street or like on the parking lot where the kids were playing. So this is when the 10-year-old sees the gun. So this dad, Keith Davis, left his gun in his car.
Yeah.
His child sees it. He takes it, goes to where the kids are playing, and says something along the lines, "See, I told you that my dad had a gun." Almost like bragging or like showing it off.
Yeah.
And he accidentally shoots KJ.
Wow.
So it's two different stories.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it proves that there was like that he was kind of just that he was possessed the gun.
He had the gun.
Yeah.
In both stories, it was him. He had the gun.
Yeah.
It's just
one
a
says
matter
it.
of how did it happen.
Yeah.
Because in the police's the way it described it, the authorities, it was an accident.
Yeah.
And on how the witnesses described it,
it was intentional.
He knew it. Yeah, he knew what he was doing. Both Keith Davis and his child were arrested the next day. The 10-year-old boy was taken to the Sacramento County Youth Detention Facility.
Oh my God.
And the father is being held with no bond. La familia reporta que la fiscalía les informó that the 10-year-old boy no será acusado por el asesinato, ya que fue un accidente.
Oh, wow, okay.
En cambio, su padre va a ser el que enfrentará los cargos.
The most, I guess, heartbreaking thing about this situation is the fact that he's a 10-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Like, he's 10. Like, you're just developing your senses of wrong and right, and you are faced with this huge tragic event like in your hands. And of course, at this point, like, he's not going to be a child as an adult, but his father is. He's taking the responsibility because of the inappropriate handling of a weapon. But just imagining that scenario of like a 10-year-old, he's 10, taking this huge action, it's insane. I can't even imagine it.
No, yeah, because if I was thinking, if the story that the other witnesses provided to the mom, is true. What has this child gone through to believe that killing someone, that taking a gun and shooting someone was gonna solve this issue?
Yeah.
That he got upset because he lost a race.
Yeah. That his anger, the way to solve his anger is by violence.
Yeah.
It's insane.
And as you were talking about the father, so more information came out on the death. So apparently our Keith is a felon.
Oh.
And he is not supposed to be carrying a weapon.
Yeah.
Therefore, he will be facing time for possession of a firearm, criminal storage of a firearm, criminal storage of a firearm, because remember, he left it in his car.
Yeah.
A loaded gun left in his car in the street where anyone can get into his car and just take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also carrying a stolen firearm, because this gun was stolen back in 2017.
Oh, wow.
And also for acting as an accessory to a crime, because after the incident, after this child shot KJ, it is said that the father took the gun and tried to get rid of it by throwing it into the trash.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. So the probability of the boy being witness of crime seems a little bit more factual.
More possible.
Because of what has he seen in his short life. It's completely insane to me that this just comes out and like we kind of like puzzle the piece together. It's wow.
There was an interview. I don't remember who the family. It was a family member of KJ. I don't know if it was an aunt. But she said this father failed their child, and in turn, they also failed our boy KJ because of the decisions of this father.
Yeah. And it's tragic because scenarios like this always, it reflects other people's upbringing and their carelessness of firearms in the household. Like I said, to each their own when it comes to firearms, but please don't leave them at the reach of a child or where a child may know where it's at, because these accidents easily happen every year. You know, I don't know the number of it, but it happens so often, and we hear it on the news.
I mean, in the beginning, I said, that was like a 9-year gap.
Yeah.
In 9 years, there was 279 cases.
Yeah. And it's like
insane.
We hear it on the news often.
Yeah.
where kids are accidentally killing each other because of guns within the home, and you know it all portrays back to like the accessibility that they have, and the way that parents need to teach their children on the dangers of these weapons. And yeah. So I feel like a lot of, not blaming video games or toys or anything, but sometimes, especially back when I was a lot younger, there was a lot of toys and games that hadn't involved guns. So it made it very, easy for kids to, use it as like a toy or as a game. And, with regulations and things that have been changing throughout the years, they made it less accessible for children. But kids are still going to want to play,
right,
in that manner. So I feel like as a person that owns a gun and a person with that kind of responsibility has to teach their children, hey, this is not a toy. And you cannot play with this. You can easily kill somebody with this. And at the end of the day, that gun is the responsibility of its owner. And if anything happens to that weapon, they need to, be responsible for it. And it sucks that the dad thought that was the right decision that he needed to make, is discard this weapon, when it's like, I'm sorry, but your son did this. Like, somebody has to pay for that. Somebody killed another kid. And it's like, it wasn't that kid's fault, but anyway.
This child was not 5 years old.
No.
He was 10. There should have been some understanding of what he was doing.
Yeah.
Y por eso la familia culpa al padre del niño por ser descuidado, pero también quieren que el niño reciba algún tipo de consecuencia.
Basically giving a child a timeout, just in regular day-to-day, that's not enough. You're letting him know that I can kill somebody and I get to go home. Something has to be done, and I will not stop. I don't know how. I'm gonna figure out how. I will not stop.
Brittany está destrozada, como escucharon, y también no entiende por qué no se le ha dado una consecuencia al niño de 10 años. Ella, como el resto de la familia, le echan la culpa al padre, pero también sienten que este niño necesita entender lo que hizo y recibir algún tipo de consecuencia, porque él mató a un niño.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, give him a timeout. No, he killed a child.
Yeah. He needs to have some sort of consequences for what he did and have that, be a part of his lesson. I mean, the thing is that, KJ is not going to come back,
Yeah.
He killed somebody for whatever reason it was. That kid is dead, and you need to have some sort of consequences and know that something like this isn't gonna, you can't just get away with it. There needs to be a lesson being taught from it.
This death could have been prevented if the parent was more responsible. Like we said, we understand that there are people who own guns and are responsible with them. But then there are those, like this father, who was irresponsible. Not only did he have an illegal weapon in his car, he left it loaded and provided his child with access to it. He didn't do it like, oh, here's a gun. He didn't give him the gun, but he left it in a place where anybody could have taken it.
Anybody could have taken it.
Yeah.
It was in an environment where anybody could have easily took advantage of the situation, taken it, and used it.
His kid.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, his child decided to take it, and these are the type of people who should not own guns.
Exactly.
Como dijimos, por favor, si eres dueño o dueña de un arma de fuego y tienes hijos, guarda la pistola en un lugar donde ellos no tengan acceso, en una caja with a lock.
Yeah.
Keep the key somewhere where the kids don't know where it is. Asegúrate que no esté cargada y que las balas estén en otro lugar. Don't leave the balas next to the
weapon.
Pistola, to the weapon, yeah. Because kids, we think that we hide things from kids, but kids can sometimes find things.
Yeah.
So don't give them access. Si vas a cargar, sé responsable. Estas pérdidas pueden ser prevenidas. This was a tragic loss of Keith KJ Frierson. Our hearts go out to his family.
He didn't deserve this. He still had a whole life to live. Y'all parents need to know how to put y'all weapons away. Teach y'all kids right. Because this wasn't right.
Y este fue el caso de esta semana. Again, our hearts go out to KJ's family and to anybody that feels any sort of connection to it. I know that gun violence is a very, tricky subject, especially when it comes to, owning a weapon and trying to find any regulations with it. It's a very political topic sometimes, but it's one of those things that, it has to be talked about because we can't have any more of these accidents happen. They're accidents for a reason, but also, people lose their lives over it. People's families get destroyed from it. And I feel like gun owners need to be more responsible when it comes to owning a weapon. And again, what Ali mentioned earlier, if you own a weapon, make sure it's not loaded. The bullets are in a different location. It's locked up, and with a key and everything. We have to prevent these sort of situations from happening at all costs. And we truly feel for the family for losing KJ because, he as far as from what Ali told me in this case, he was a wonderful kid, and he had so much to live for, and
he was very loved by the community.
Yeah, and for him to lose his life this way is completely heartbreaking, and no child should die this way, and no family should mourn a loss for a child.
I hope his mom doesn't blame herself.
Yeah.
I hope she doesn't.
And yeah, so our hearts go out to the family, and of course, if you want to talk more about this case or about, regulations or any sort of thing that has to do with this topic, our platforms are open for you to discuss it. We have our Instagram, our Twitter or X, our thread, and our TikTok open for you guys. You can leave us comments, suggestions, or any sort of detail when it comes to this case or any of the other cases that we talked about. You can follow us at SVSM_podcast, or you can follow us on Facebook and leave us a comment or a direct message. Según, Esto, podcast. You can also listen to the rest of our catalog. You can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, or wherever you stream podcasts. Just type in Según, Esto, podcast and they should pop up. You can also download the Latina Podcaster Network app. Just download Latina Podcaster Network on your app store and it'll pop up. Download it, type in Según, Esto, podcast. Our whole catalog will be in there. And there's other creators there that you can listen to that are all Latino based. They'll talk about mental health, parenting, finance, anything and everything. Just,
other
anything.
True crime.
Yeah, there are other true crime podcasts there too. So, enjoy a little bit of everything from other Latino creators, and support other creators. And you can do that and listen to our whole catalog there. But yeah, again, our platforms are open for any suggestions or talk about this topic or any other topic that you are interested in. And if you want to leave a review, that would be really amazing. We've been seeing your reviews on our Apple Podcasts, and it's really heartwarming, and we just want to say thank you for it. So if you want to leave us a review or even rate us on Spotify, it would help us a lot, and we would really appreciate it. So yeah, overall, thank you so much for that. We really appreciate it. It makes us happy to read them.
We're smiling.
Yeah, you can't see this, but we literally smile every single time we see a good review, because it makes us feel like we're doing a great job and having a true connection with our audience, and we really appreciate you guys. So thank you so much for those wonderful reviews.
I love it when the reviews they say that it feels like they're in the room with us and they're just like sitting there listening to us, like we're just like two comadres just going back and forth. Like they feel like they're in the room with us, because that was the purpose. That was what we wanted to get across when we started this.
Especially when we started this podcast, a lot of people were like, especially in the beginning, I remember that a lot of people were upset that we weren't being so informative or giving, detailed and like super specific information when it came to the case. Like I'm sorry, but we're not journalists. We don't know everything and everything. Like sometimes we literally don't have enough information for the case, but we do a little bit of research in order for you to understand and get some sort of insight on it. A lot
of research, not a little bit. We do a lot. We spend hours.
We do. I'm sorry. Sometimes I just feel like people don't really want to understand that side of it, but whatever.
In a lot of cases hay más información, and it's
we try to as much as we can. We only have so much time to research on cases, and it's and we do it for you guys. And I feel like,
but we take the negative feedback too.
Yeah, we do take the negative feedback, and we try
I'll say feedback, not negative. We take all the feedback
criticism,
because thank you, criticism, because we can all improve. We can all improve. We're not perfect. We can all improve, so we take it.
Yeah, we do. You have criticism, we'll accept it too. We might not change it, but we will accept it. But overall, I do appreciate that you guys say that we feel like we're talking to you guys, because at the end of the day, that was always our goal. is to
Yeah.
have somebody feel related to, and somebody that can talk to us and feel like we're part of them, and que somos primas tomando un café y estamos hablando de algo que nos interesa, or something that
Yeah.
we saw on the news or something. So it's like, for us, that really means a lot. And we just want to say thank you so much for leaving those wonderful reviews. It really means a lot to us. And yeah, anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, so
That's it. We're almost in a 100 episode.
we're one episode away from 100,
One
which is
episode away.
insane. It's
Yeah.
insane for me to even see that number and type it out on our uploads. So it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Just want to say thank you in advance for listening to the almost 100 episodes. For right now, the 99 episodes. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for tuning in every week. We really appreciate it. And
Yeah, we're just talking about the victims and
keeping their voices heard. So
Mhm.
thank you so much. And
Yeah. See you guys next week.
see you guys next week. And
Yeah. Have a good weekend.
have a great weekend, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye. Stay spooky.